Here is the translation in US English. You know that woman who seemed determined to leave you in the past? The one who turned her back as if she'd never look back? Well, one day she comes back. Sometimes disguising it, sometimes just sending a, "Hey stranger," or simply reappearing as if nothing happened. And as much as pride tries to hide it, there's a real reason behind it. In fact, there are several. And if you've already been through this, or will go through it, it's better to understand exactly why it happens. Many men think it's luck, chance, or that it was because she suddenly regretted it. But the truth is that there are much deeper psychological and emotional forces at play behind the scenes. These are internal triggers that make a woman rethink everything and want back what she once treated with disdain. And the most curious thing, the more you grow, evolve, and distance yourself, the more irresistible you become to her. That's not a coincidence. That's a pattern that few men see in time to use to their advantage. Today, I'm going to show you the 12 main reasons why a woman comes back. And no, it's not to inflate your ego. It's to open your eyes. Because when you understand the female mind clearly, you stop chasing and start positioning yourself. Take a deep breath, because what you're about to discover can completely change the way you approach the emotional game with women. And maybe, just maybe, after this video, you'll never see that "hey stranger" the same way again. Before we continue, I need to tell you something. This video only reached you because someone liked it and subscribed to our channel. Now it's your turn to do the same. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so this chain of knowledge keeps growing and reaching more people. Also, comment down below which city you're watching from, because I want to know how far this video is traveling. Now, no more delays, let's get to the good stuff. First reason, they face rejections and come back out of neediness. In the beginning, she was sure she could replace you easily. After all, for many, there's this illusion that all it takes is snapping your fingers for better options to appear. But the real world hits differently. And when she starts getting involved with guys who don't call the next day, who only want pleasure without commitment, who see nothing in her beyond a body, the mask falls off. And that's when the first frustration arises. Rejection. That silent feeling of not being wanted in the way she believed she deserved. Only her mind won't admit this so easily. Instead, she starts to rationalize. Did I lose someone who really saw me? Зрение. Был ли я слишком торопливым в отъезде от него? And in this process of self-deception and emotional emptiness, neediness becomes fuel. The memory of the emotional comfort you offered, even in difficult times, starts to scream louder than pride. Because a woman can be strong, determined, and full of attitude, but when loneliness arrives at the early hours and no one truly cares about her, it's your presence that weighs heavily. And when this longing mixed with neediness starts to bother her too much, she finds a way to reappear, sometimes by message, other times by liking one of your photos, just to see if you're still there. But understand one thing, she doesn't come back because you were perfect. She comes back because in the midst of a shallow world, you were one of the few who truly saw her. And that, my friend, is something that no amount of neediness can ignore for long. If you're tired of watching her play games, ignore you, and do whatever she wants with your feelings, it's time to show who's in charge of the game. It's time to make her chase you and recognize your true value. In the first pinned comment, I've left a step-by-step guide on how to make her pursue you. Plus, you'll level up and become the best version of yourself. Click now. Second reason, they feel they lost someone rare. In the heat of the moment, she may have even thought you were just another one. But time has a cruel way of revealing the truth. And when she starts living with guys who don't know how to listen, who lack depth, or who live for their own ego, the contrast becomes inevitable. The memory of how you treated her with respect, presence, and truth starts to weigh heavily. Because emotionally mature men are rare, and she starts to realize this too late. The feeling of having lost something valuable comes like a flash, a gesture, a phrase of yours that comes back to her memory at a random moment. And then she starts making comparisons. You become the standard, the reference point. And no matter how much she tries to move on, something is always missing in the others. It's as if everyone else is a step behind emotionally. No one can touch her the way you did, not physically but emotionally. And at that moment, she doesn't come back on impulse. She comes back because she understood that you weren't ordinary, that what you had doesn't happen with just anyone. And even if she tries to hide it, her actions will give her away. She will start to probe, approach carefully, like someone trying to return to a place where, deep down, she always wanted to be. Third reason, they realize that other men only want to use them. The freedom she sought so much becomes a trap when the only kind of attention she receives is disguised interest. In the beginning, she even feels desired, compliments, invitations, glances. But after a while, everything starts to sound the same. Empty promises, shallow conversations, and the same cheap attempt to take her to bed. The truth becomes evident. Few want to connect with who she really is. And then comes the reality check. She realizes she was seen as disposable, that most people only want a moment, not a story. And at this point, what once seemed empowering becomes frustrating. The memory of how you treated her with depth, how you listened to her pain and saw her details, starts to gain space in her mind. It wasn't just desire. It was presence. And that deep down is what every woman seeks. She doesn't come back because she's sorry in the traditional sense. She comes back because she understood that she was used by those who didn't care and valued by the ones she dismissed. And in that conflict between desire and disillusionment, the instinct to return to the one who offered more than pleasure, to the one who offered truth, is stronger than she wants to admit. Fourth reason, you became the man they always wanted, but too late. Nothing messes with a woman's ego more than seeing the man she rejected transform into everything she said she wanted. You matured, you grew, you evolved emotionally and financially. You started taking care of yourself, walking with more posture, speaking with more firmness, and all this without her by your side. This, for her, hurts, because deep down she believes she would be part of that evolution. She starts to realize she missed the timing, that the guy she dismissed is now desired by other women. And more than that, now you know your worth. And you're no longer that guy who accepted crumbs. The game has changed, and with it, the dynamic between you has also changed. Now she observes you from afar, often in silence, and feels something she may never have felt before: admiration mixed with regret. She comes back with a mixture of wounded pride and genuine desire. She wants to reconnect, be part of your new phase, try to occupy a space that is no longer empty. And even if she doesn't say it in so many words, her presence will reveal everything: the look, the gestures, the compliments disguised as friendship. Because you became the man she always sought, but she only realized it when it was too late. Fifth reason, they get tired of the club scene and superficiality. In the beginning, everything seems exciting: parties, invitations, freedom, a line of seemingly interested guys. But over time, the same party starts to sound empty. The smiles become forced and the encounters leave a bitter taste. She realizes that there's no real connection, that everything is momentary, and that no one really cares about her beyond her appearance. This life that seemed so fun starts to take an emotional toll. She misses being looked in the eyes, having someone who truly knows her, a place where she can be vulnerable without fear. And at that moment, the memory of your embrace, your listening ear, and your sincere presence comes back strongly. Because in the middle of the noise, she misses the safe silence that existed by your side. That's when she comes back. Sometimes saying she missed you, other times making up any excuse. But what's really happening is that the superficial life has lost its appeal, and the value of what you experienced together, which once seemed common, is now rare. And rare, my friend, when it disappears, it creates a void. Sixth reason, friends or family speak well of you. Sometimes you're not even around anymore. You don't text, you don't show up, you don't demonstrate anything. But then, at a family lunch, in a chat among friends, your name comes up. And not in a negative way, on the contrary. Someone comments on how respectful you were, how good you were for her, how balanced you seem to be. And these words echo. She may try to ignore it. She may pretend it didn't affect her. But when the opinion of someone she trusts validates what you experienced together, doubt returns strongly. Was I wrong to move away from him? Xenia. Byli on больше, чем я мог видеть. And the most curious thing, this social reinforcement often weighs more than any action of yours. She comes back driven by this memory planted by others, because when the external voice starts to confirm what her heart was avoiding feeling, the return becomes almost inevitable. Sometimes it's not you who makes her remember, it's others, and the echo of that approval can be the push she needed to come back. Seventh reason, they are emotionally fragile. Everyone goes through phases when the world seems too heavy. In their case, these moments of emotional vulnerability are dangerous, because it's precisely when the mask falls off, when the strength she tries to maintain crumbles, and she feels like going back to where, deep down, she still felt safe. And even if months or years have passed, the memory of your care still lingers there. She may be going through grief, a disappointment, a difficult time. And in these moments, she doesn't look for the most handsome, the richest, or the most popular. She looks for the most reliable. And if you were that safe harbor, even for a short time, the chance of her coming back is much higher, because in pain, the heart seeks refuge, and you were that for her. So she doesn't come back because she wants to relive everything exactly as it was. She comes back because she misses your energy, the way you made her world seem a little less chaotic, and often the reunion happens when she needs it most, and has the least courage to admit it. Eighth reason, time reveals who was really by their side. The truth is that as time passes, the masks fall off. The friends who were a constant presence disappear. The guys who promised everything vanish. And she starts to remember who was really there without asking for anything in return. You. Yes, maybe she didn't value it at the time, but time, that silent judge, starts to show who was real. When the lights go out and the spotlights of attention fade, she looks to the past and sees you weren't perfect, but you were present. You didn't say what she wanted to hear. You said what she needed to hear. And that, today, has a value that she only understands now. The feeling of having lost you is no longer light. It's painful. Because now she knows you were one of the few who truly cared. She comes back because she wants, in some way, to fix that mistake. She wants to reconnect with someone who was loyal even when she didn't deserve it. Time opened her eyes, and when that happens, there's no more pretending she doesn't miss you. Ninth reason, they see your growth and want to be a part of it. Have you ever noticed how some people only value your evolution when it starts to shine for others? When you were in the building phase, maybe she ignored you, thought you weren't all that. But now, you've changed. Your gaze is firmer, your actions more confident, your life more aligned. And guess who starts to reappear silently? The woman who left you when you were still a draft. now looks at you as if she were seeing the final version of the work. And this affects her in a way that isn't always conscious. She starts to see you being admired, desired, respected. And what was once disinterest turns into curiosity. What was distance becomes an attempt to get closer, because deep down she wants to be part of what you're becoming. Even if she lost the right to be there, she comes back with that old excuse of, "I wanted to know how you are, Georgin." But deep down, she knows. She's seeing it. Your growth is the mirror of what she'd let slip away. And the question that remains in her mind is there still time to go back to this story before someone else takes my place? 10th reason, they want to prove to themselves that they are still desired. Her return isn't always about love or regret. Sometimes it's just the ego screaming, because there's a silent pain that many women feel when they realize that the man they left simply moved on with his life. You didn't beg, you didn't chase, you didn't humiliate yourself. And that, for someone who believed they had emotional control over you, is unbearable. She starts to question herself. Does he still want me? Swing? Was I forgotten so easily? And it is in this void that the need for confirmation arises. She needs to feel that she still has some power over you, that she can win you back, even if only for a day, just to inflate her own ego. It's not rational, it's emotional, and it almost always happens when you are at peace, distracted, living your life. She comes back smiling, complimenting, making herself lightly present, but with an objective behind it, to prove to herself that she is still capable of arousing the same desire in you. It's up to you to identify this and decide, is it worth rekindling something just to massage her ego? Or have you already understood that whoever needs to prove something isn't you? 11th reason, the ego doesn't accept having been replaced or forgotten. There's something inside some women that can't stand the idea of being replaced. Even if she was the one who left you, even if she said she didn't want you anymore. Seeing you happy with someone else, lighthearted, laughing, rebuilding yourself, is a blow to her pride, because for her, the script was different. You should be in pieces, waiting for a chance to start over with her. But when she realizes that you're moving on, that someone else is now receiving your attention, your affection, your energy, her emotional alarm goes off. She doesn't come back because she loves you. She comes back because she can't stand losing her position of importance in your life. Her ego wasn't made to accept being forgotten, and when that happens, the reaction is immediate. Reappear, mark territory, mess with your emotions. And the most dangerous thing is that she will do it with sweetness, with affection, as if she were full of longing. But deep down, it's just wounded pride trying to heal itself. And if you're not careful, you might end up confusing the need for validation with true love. 12th reason, because deep down, they know they were happier with you. This reason is the quietest and at the same time, the most powerful of all. Because it doesn't reveal itself all at once. It builds slowly in memories, in small longings that turn into huge holes, in inevitable comparisons with other men. She may have even tried to forget you, block you, erase everything, but some happiness doesn't fade away. It stays, and your presence, your way of caring, the way you made her feel, all of that comes back little by little. In a song, in a conversation, in a scent. And when it hits her, she realizes it was with you that she truly laughed, that she felt welcomed, that she surrendered without fear. And no matter how many other people have passed through, no one filled that space in the same way. She comes back because she understood, even if she doesn't admit it, that it was with you that she lived her best chapters. And even if she tries to rewrite that story with someone else, deep down, it's you who occupies the lines between the words of her memory, because there are loves that don't repeat themselves. And when she understands that her best was with you, the way back stops being pride. It becomes a necessity. If this video made a difference for you, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every video we create here is thought out with great care, always with the aim of helping you develop and achieve your best version. We want to share practical and direct tips that really impact your life positively. So don't waste time and comment below with the word gratitude and the phrase, "in search of my best version." With that, the algorithm will take this video to even more men who are looking for growth. Your engagement in the comments is essential for our content to reach those who need these tips the most. In addition, your support with a like and subscription to the channel strengthens our work and motivates us to continue creating valuable content for your journey. The more you interact, the more men will also have access to this type of information, which only helps our mission to transform lives. So thank you for being with us on this journey. Stay tuned for upcoming videos because we are always bringing news to help you evolve. Big hug and see you in the next video.